So it's a pretty good description of some of the impediments and obstacles. You know, what are we about, quarter hour now? Okay. Let me propose something for everybody. We're the Cape Fear Economic Development Council, so the reason for bringing John Norquist in, the primary reason, was to have him talk about how placemaking can help grow a sustainable economy and allow people to make money and generate jobs both in the region among spawning small businesses, 5 to 10 people, and also attracting people from outside of here. So, love all the quality of life. Love to be able to walk around and say hello to somebody and be within 20 feet so you don't have to raise your voice, and be within 70 feet so you can recognize facial gestures and have a conversation among the other members of the human species, and that's wonderful. But as Billy said, if people can't make money and they don't have resources, then things stop getting maintained. It starts to be sort of the low hum of the machine starting to wind down. So you got to do all that while still preserving the ecology of the region that allows you to breathe and have food and drink and all those other things. But Billy and Chris talked about the economy, and Chris talked about leverage public investments that help promote private success, creating that kind of communal petri dish that private business can grow in and spawn and create economy. I-40 being the largest, I guess, leveraged sort of public investment to benefit our area in the whole last century. Well, we're out of money, so now we got everybody's visionary. We see where we need to go, but oh my God, there's so much outmoded infrastructure out there. We got settlement patterns that don't make any sense for compact, multimodal transportation networks. We got to go retrofit a tremendous amount of sprawl infrastructure that's out there, and we've even lost money, let's say, to maintain even the good parts of what we got, because the public treasury is depleted. So what do you do to find the money? Are things like tax increment financing, where you assume that something's going to be prosperous and you pay back the bond with the increased tax revenues that come from it? I mean, can we identify the savings that will occur from even now in a very, very tight time, making those kinds of public investments and financing with future savings? I mean, what kinds of things can, I've taken time now to open that up to public, because to me, I mean, there's a lot of consensus on what needs to be done to correct, but having the financial capacity to do it and where that's coming from, the only thing I can see, again, is if it truly is going to save money in a significant way for the operation of a municipality and region, I think it will. I mean, everything from reduced infrastructure investment to reduced maintenance to the meter readers don't have to travel as far. It doesn't take as long to go put out a fire. I mean, it spreads across every single aspect of operating the city and the municipality and region. So what are our thoughts on how you take those future savings, and we've got an appraiser in the room, and bring it down to present value and borrow against that present value sufficiently to be able to get the money and do the retrofit?
To do a tip. You should speak specifically about tips.
And I use that as an analogy.
Are you asking if it's a good idea or a bad idea?
Well, no, I'm using the tip as just an analogy to say that's one technique that kind of...
That's one way to do it.
Right.
Maybe a more natural way to do it would be to have a business-friendly community that encourages investment. Because without investment, you don't have the tax base to help pay for the services that all of us have become accustomed to and that we all need and demand and want. So I think you've got to look at being a community that's sensitive to the environment, but also sensitive to our economic well-being. And so that's why we work to attract businesses that are interested in coming here and making an investment. That tax base is what helps pay the bill. That pays the bill. Ask Rick. Without that industrial base and that business tax base, all of us would have to pay more taxes. And then when you bring in the jobs with it, that further feeds the economy. Let me give you a great example. We helped bring in Verizon Wireless here 7.5 years ago. And by the way, everything that we work on is competitive. Verizon Wireless was looking at multiple locations across the country. But they chose Wilmington for lots of reasons. One of which was the quality of life, because they were looking to hire people, pay a good salary, and they needed educated people, and they made a great investment over there off the Shipyard Boulevard. They opened the doors with approximately 850, 900 customer service people. Those people make well above average pay. They have good benefits. And those are the kinds of jobs that afford people the ability to shop, buy homes, buy cars, visit the restaurants downtown, visit the restaurants in Mayfair or at the beach. That is a self-sustaining economic cycle. And so that's part of our mission, is to bring good businesses here that pay a good salary and a good wage, so we can be a financially healthy community, so that then we can discuss things like we're discussing tonight. How can we even make it a better place to live and work? The end of the Verizon story, and there's many examples, but I use this one because it's a great example. They've been here 7.5 years. They now have about 1,500 employees. And their customer service center is a premier center in their system. As a matter of fact, I was in a discussion not long ago with them and the airport. We were talking about air traffic and that sort of thing. There's a lot of people, they bring a lot of people in town to do training and show off this center. It's a premier center of theirs in their entire system. So again, the economic impact continues to roll. When Verizon first came here and we made the announcement, we did some economic forecast on that. And that one project alone, with the initial of approximately 1,000 employees, was estimated to kick off over $200 million a year, every year, in the Wilmington area. So I would suggest to you that being economically sound is one way to begin to be able to afford to do some of the other things we want to do, and that's make this even a better place to live.
So is there a little bit of chicken and egg that they came here because of quality of life? Quality of life is predicated upon some public investment.
Well, they came here for lots of reasons. I mean, we have an available workforce. As a matter of fact, I call it our renewable workforce, because one of the first questions when they came here was, where are we going to find 850 people who can be trained in our sophisticated software systems and do the job? Well, look around. We're a wealthy community when it comes to education. We've got UNCW, we've got Cape Fear Community College. Guess where we found those employees? Right here in our community. They were educated people. They had proven that they could learn because they had either graduated from UNCW or they graduated from Cape Fear Community College. But guess where they were still living? They were still living here because they love it here. So they were working at other jobs. They may have been waiting tables, doing other service industry kind of jobs. But when a good job came along, they were able to qualify, pass the test, and pass the training. And now they're making, like I said, above average salary with great benefits, and they've grown and everything. So they came here for a lot of reasons. Our people, our resources, our quality of life, our region. So like I said earlier, there's generally no one thing. They look for communities. And so that's what we try to promote. When we have a client fly in, our office is at the airport. They'll fly into the airport, we'll bring them to our office, and we'll give them a generic presentation about the region, pointing out the advantages. And then we love to put them in the car and show We show off the river. We show off the fact that PPD has its headquarters in downtown Wilmington. We show off the historical area. And then we head down Market Street and we show off the university. We show off our downtown Hayfair Community Campus. And then by the time we get them to the beach, their heads are spinning. They're saying, gee whiz, I can live in a historical home downtown, enjoy that lifestyle, or I can move down to the beach, or I can live out in the county. And so it's the package. It's the total package that makes this a great place to live.
But without that framework, they won't come. I mean,
Yeah.
without you being there doing what you do, without having the infrastructure to support their business, they won't give us a second look. And part goes to the question, like you talked about, is growth a good thing? There are those that say, or you mentioned, Rick, those that say growth is not a good thing. And yet, as a business owner and as folks that have got that, you need growth to sustain the economy to some degree.
I think just to continue the chicken and Billy, and just support what you said about Verizon, we talked in another meeting, or maybe at Norquist, about the fact that, at least in the case of Verizon, they came here and then they said, would you make sure that we had a sort of bike lane access? I mean, in other words, to support the idea that you get the growth first and then these people become citizens and want other things that are good for everybody. I think they...
Absolutely. Yeah. Good point. I was going to try to tie it together. Thanks for reminding me. The point is, those are the kinds of people who have the energy, the time, and the money to then further improve the community. Because Verizon has, around back, they have a cafeteria, they have a daycare place, they have around back, they have a volleyball court. So these are active people. And so the bike path, those people are interested in those kinds of things, and they will support those kinds of things and help finance those kinds of things, and they will use those kinds of things. So it all is a cycle.
Let me clear one. Hang on a second. Now, I do support growth. There are some people in the county that do not.
Oh, yeah.
Don't misunderstand me there. Just while I've been for a second. We also have our industrial base. But we have a tourism economy here that is huge. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. And everything that we can do to support that, we need to. And I think we're doing a fairly good job with that. And then we have a budding international economy. The state ports is what we've got there, and they're trying to retool themselves a little bit. And I've been working with them on their foreign trade zone, and Howard Capps actually put the seed in my on what we could do at the airport. We've got 160 acres at the airport that's got water, sewer, and flows and rail. So we're looking to expand that foreign trade zone to the airport, which basically allows some federal duty incentives to businesses that help them with their cash flow. And what that does is that opens New Hanover County up from just looking at a 180-degree business market to a 360-degree business market where the rest of the world can be our customers. And if we can start bringing in those international